Travel today feels effortless. Highways stretch smooth and straight. Flights cross continents in hours, and a simple phone tap summons directions. But for most of human history, movement was not convenience. It was misery. Before the age of asphalt and engineering, the road itself was often the greatest enemy. Today, we're tracing the uneven, muddy, and treacherous paths of the past to uncover why travel was miserable before modern roads. Imagine yourself in the year 1400. You rise before dawn in a small village, preparing for a journey to the nearest market town, perhaps only 15 miles away. By today's standards, a half-hour drive. For you, it'll be an all-day ordeal. The road ahead is not truly a road at all. It is a dirt track, carved by wagon wheels and animal hooves, often swallowed by weeds, ruts, and standing water. After rain, it becomes a ribbon of thick mud. In summer, clouds of dust cling to your skin and settle in your mouth with every step. You walk or ride. If you are fortunate enough to own a horse, wagons lurch and tilt at every rut, spilling goods and rattling bones. Bridges, when they exist, are crude wooden planks that creak under weight or missing altogether, leaving streams to be forded. The rhythm of travel is slow, halting, and uncomfortable. 10 miles a day is respectable. 15 is exhausting. Darkness falls quickly, and with it, the dangers of sleeping outdoors thieves, wild animals, and the sheer discomfort of damp ground. Travel was not an escape. It was a burden. Consider the experience of Marjorie Kemp, an Englishwoman who, in the early 15th century, set out on pilgrimages across Europe and even to Jerusalem. She left behind one of the earliest autobiographies in English, and within it, glimpses of the travel ordeal. Marjorie journeyed hundreds of miles, often on foot across poorly maintained tracks and perilous mountain passes. Carriages were luxuries, reserved for the wealthy, and even then they jolted violently, leaving travelers bruised and weary. When Marjorie boarded a ship for her pilgrimage, seasickness tormented her. When she crossed land, swollen feet, hunger, and exhaustion followed. What kept her moving was not comfort, but faith on inner conviction that the hardship itself was part of devotion. Her story illustrates what travel meant in that era. Not leisure, not freedom, but trial and sacrifice. Archaeology and historical records give us the bones of these journeys. Roman roads, once marvels of engineering, still left traces across Europe. But after Rome's fall, many of these arteries fractured. Stones were scavenged for buildings, maintenance ceased, and weeds reclaimed the paths. By the Middle Ages, a traveler might find a road that was little more than memory. Maps from the 16th and 17th centuries show winding, uneven routes, sometimes little more than the suggestion of direction. Parish records speak of carts stuck in mud, of merchants delayed for days by swollen rivers. In some places, toll roads began to appear maintained by locals who charged for passibute. These were exceptions, not norms. Objects unearthed broken cartwheels, iron horseshoes, and crude wooden bridge remains spake of constant repair, constant failure, and constant struggle against the terrain. The road was alive in a sense, shifting with weather and season, always threatening to betray the trade. Of course, not all travel was equal. The poor walked, carrying burdens on their backs. Merchants with goods relied on ox-drawn carts low, lumbering, and prone to break down. Pilgrims endured days of hunger and blistered feet. But the wealthy, too, faced discomfort. Noble families might ride in carriages, cushioned with fabric and pulled by teams of horses. Yet without smooth roads, even the grandest carriage became a jolting box on wheels. Delays were common, accidents frequent, and the pace rarely exceeded that of the poorest travel on foot. The contrast lay not in speed or safety, but in endurance. The rich could rest in manor houses or monasteries, while the poor made do with hedgerows and barns. Yet all shared the same rutted paths, the same mud, the same endless discomfort of pre-modern travel. Before modern roads, travel was not adventurous, was end. Every journey meant days of fatigue, risk, and uncertainty. The rhythm of life was local, rooted in villages and towns, because the very act of moving across land was exhausting. Only with the coming of paved roads, canals, and later railways did distance begin to shrink, and the world begin to feel connected. So next time you drive a smooth highway or board a train, remember, not long ago, the road itself was the greatest challenge of all.